या देवी सर्वभूतेषु चैतन्येत्यभिधीयते नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्।
Namaste and welcome to Kaivalya Yoga Gurukulam for another evening or morning, depending on where you are, for a delightful Satsang. As always, we shall begin the Satsang with a simple bhajan dedicated to the energy of Lord Ganesha, where we invoke this divine energy so it clears the path so our consciousness can move upwards and expand without any hindrances, protects the mind from distractions, and he leads us to our goal, namely the Shiva consciousness. With that humble prayer, let's begin the Ganesha bhajan.
ॐ गणपतये नमः। 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 गजवदना गणनाथा गजवदना Gajavadana Dinanatha Gajavadana Gananatha Gajavadana Dinanatha Siddhi Vidata Shivatanaya Siddhi Vidata Shivatanaya Buddhi Pradayak Gajanana Buddhi Pradayak Gajanana Parvati Nandana Bhava Bhaya Bhanjana Parvati Nandana Bhava Bhaya Bhanjana Yuga Yuga Vandita Jaya Shri Ganesha Yuga Yuga Vandita Jaya Shri Ganesha Om Ganganapataye Namaha 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 Gajavadana Gananatha Gajavadana Dinanatha Gajavadana Gananatha Gajavadana Dinanatha Siddhi Vidata Shivatanaya Siddhi Vidata Shivatanaya Buddhi Pradayak Gajanana Buddhi Pradayak Gajanana Parvati Nandana Bhava Bhaya Bhanjana Parvati Nandana Bhava Bhaya Bhanjana Yuga Yuga Vandita Jaya Shri Ganesha Yuga Yuga Vandita Jaya Shri Ganesha Om Ganganapataye Namaha Om Ganganapataye Namaha Om Ganganapataye Namaha Om Ganganapataye Namaha Om Ganganapataye Namaha.
Namaste. For those of you who have just joined, welcome to the Satsang. This is day 2 of our Devi Khadgamala Satsang. And we begin with great humility and reverence. When I talk of divine synchronicity, I don't talk of it lightly, nor is it some blind belief. I'm sure almost everyone in this satsang, or later as you view this video, will relate to this. That somewhere you feel the divine hand, the divine presence guiding you and blessing you. But before I tell this beautiful incident that happened yesterday as we began this satsang, let me take this opportunity to very humbly and very gratefully thank each and every one of you for your kind and loving birthday wishes. I've never been wished by so many people for I don't know how long, but thank you so much. It really was very touching. I'm very, very touched, especially the little children who made those videos and sent it. It's very humbling. And it makes me even more determined to be on this path. So thank you for that. Yesterday, well, it all began with the last time I was in India, in Chennai, and I was doing the 5 temples of Shiva for the 5 elements, seeking the blessings and being there for some days in each temple, meditating there and seeking inspiration. I happened to go to Chennai, and there is a very famous store there. It's called the Giri Traders Store. So some of you from Chennai will probably know this. And I had noticed a huge Sri Chakram, almost 2 feet by 2 feet in copper plate, very beautiful. And caught my attention. It was lying in some corner. It caught my attention. But I knew that I didn't have the space to bring it. I just couldn't just buy it and leave it at my in-laws' place or something. And I somehow it just didn't gel at that point. But that particular item clicked in my heart, and I said, if it's meant to be, it will come. And so as we were contemplating these 2 weeks about starting the Devi Khadgamala and the beginning of Navratri, I got this sudden desire to see if that Sri Chakram was still available. Because that size is rare. You don't get it. You have to order something like that. Made to order, custom order and all of that. But a long shot, and the Sri Chakram was still in that store. And so my mother-in-law was gracious enough to get it for KYG. I said, at some point, I will need to keep it. It's some part of some vision, hopefully, if it happens. If it doesn't, it's fine. But anyway, the point is, she got the Sri Chakram. And one thing led to the other. And yesterday, she took it to the Shankaracharya Mutt in Kanchipuram, where there is a Vedic Pathshala, hoping to get it blessed, not knowing what to expect. But again, long story short, the Shankaracharya saw her, called her, asked her what she was holding, and very graciously took it and held it in his hand. And he said, "Oh, this is going to America." And she said, "Yes, it's going to the Yoga Gurukulam." And he said, "Please tell him it's all my blessings." And then the best thing was, as if this was not enough, right? Because these are lineages of the Adi Shankara for the last 2,000 years, just like the Pope in the Vatican. It's kind of a very sacred tradition that has been maintained. The 4 or 5 schools that Adi Shankara has set up in India, they have carried this tradition. And they are all very ardent worshippers of Devi principle, the Shakti principle. And so I considered that as a great blessing. But the cherry on top of that was, he also told my mother-in-law that it was Aipusam month in Tamil. There's an Aipusam month. It's a Hindu calendar. And he said it's the Puram Nakshatram. And in Kanchipuram, that was the day when Kamakshi descended to Kanchipuram. He said this was the day she descended to Kanchipuram. And for us to begin on the very same day, without any idea, the Devi Khadgamala. And it was almost like, for me, it was a confirmation. Not only did the Sri Chakra get blessed, but also a confirmation that we started it on the day when Kamakshi. What does that really mean? Kamakshi descended in Kanchipuram. I don't know at this point. But I do understand that that portal perhaps was discovered at that point, the powerful portal, which was later on sanctified by Adi Shankara. And he worshipped the Sri Chakram there. There is a pit in the Sanctum Sanctorum where this Sri Chakram was placed, the small one that we have, the Meru, was placed inside, and they did puja and gave it to us. So that's a place that has tremendous history and powerful vibrations. And for us to start on the same day, I thought it was divinely orchestrated. I continue to say that I feel very guided to do this. And it also strengthens what I said yesterday about have no fear. This is how the divine guides. She puts the missing puzzles, if you will, and beautifully orchestrates certain things, subtly putting a signature and saying, yes, you're right, keep going on the right path. So it was very auspicious all around. And therefore, I just wanted to share that. And I felt very blessed. So thus we begin a very powerful, sacred practice of mantra, chanting the mantra. But this mantra is not one word or a few words. It's a huge, long, it's almost like a stotra. They call it a stotra. But it is like the whole thing is actually one big mantra. And so, before we go into the Devi Khadgamala, I want certain basic concepts to be very, very clear in all of us so that there is no room for confusion. And also, to share the significance of these rituals, because without understanding the rituals and the significance, and what was this concept of mantra? How did these rishis come up with these mantras? When I say rishis, sages and yogis come up with the mantras, what was their thought process behind it? Not that they were consciously doing it, but how was it gifted to them? How were they able to decipher the secrets of all of this? Is amazing. We may never know how they did all that, but the knowledge is available as to what the components of a mantra is. So today, we will take up a mantra. I call it the anatomy of a mantra, traditional mantra. Okay? Every mantra has the standard anatomy. Just like every human being has 2 hands, 2 feet, 1 head, 2 eyes, right? That's the standard. Now, some may have a bigger head, smaller head, some might be taller, shorter, all that is different. But the point is there is a standard anatomy that medical science has understood, and with that standard, they're able to dissect illnesses and understand human beings, right? So in the same manner, when we talk of a mantra in the traditional concept in Sanatana Dharma, what does a mantra consists of? What are the building blocks? In other words, the anatomy of a mantra. So let us go there, and I want to share that. That will be for today's satsang, because we have to. Once these foundations are placed in your heart, clear, then you never have to look back at these. Then you look for any particular initiation or any particular mantra, you begin to understand and study it from this anatomical perspective. And then understand where is the energy of this, what is the potency of the mantra, which part of the mantra contains the potency, which part of the mantra releases that potent energy, and so on. It's fascinating, the kind of thought process that has gone into mantras, even like Om Ganapataye Namaha, longer mantras, shorter mantras. The entire Gayatri can be broken into all of this. Sai Gayatri, the regular Vishwamitra Gayatri, and so on. So, let's begin. You have the slides that's coming up. So, the anatomy of your mantra. The first thing in the traditional practice is, before the mantra begins, you announce the mantra. You say so and so Maha Mantra is what is going to be chanted. This is what, it's an announcement to yourself, of course. All of this is more or less yourself. You can do it mentally, you can announce it loudly. If you're doing it as a group, everybody understands this is the mantra that is going to be chanted. So that is called the name of the mantra. And we'll take an example of the Devi Khadgamala itself. I'm not going to explain the details of the words, but understand the anatomy for this. So the name of the mantra is announced before anything else. This is the mantra that is going to be chanted now. So if there's a group, everybody understands this is the mantra that is going to be chanted. It was perhaps that was a practice thousands of years ago where the guru would say, this is the mantra, and everybody knows exactly who's the author of that mantra and so on. So the first thing is you announce the name of the mantra in the practice, and we'll see how that is done. Then comes who has written this mantra. All these traditional mantras like the Gayatri, the evergreen, ever famous, the most powerful mantra, the Gayatri mantra, the prayer for enlightenment or the chant for enlightenment, that was written by sage Vishwamitra. He wrote the Gayatri mantra. So every mantra thus has a rishi, a sage who authored this mantra. Right? The Sai Gayatri was authored by a sage, a very modern sage. We got the privilege to see him. And in 1977, he releases on the eve of Christmas in Vrindavan. It was released. You can check it on the Sai organization site. Shri Gandhi Kota Subramanya Sastri Garu. He released the Sai Gayatri. Now these are great Vedic scholars. They are not sitting and just matching some names. So there is a science behind all of that, especially when it comes to Gayatri Mantra and so on, how the chant should be and so on, how many letters should it contain and so on. So there is a rishi for every mantra. Okay? So we announce who is the Rishi. All right? And what do we do? What is the ritual that we do during that? I will come to that. But understand this first, basics. First, the name of the mantra is announced. Then the Rishi, who is the author of this mantra, that is announced. This is why that concept of initiation kind of trickled from there. Because when a guru is initiating you, he should tell you who was the author of this mantra, where it came from, and how he has been an instrument in passing this mantra to you. That's all. Okay? Then comes the chandas. Chandas is the meter or the rhythm of, I call it the rhythm of the mantra, the way the mantra paces itself as you chant. There is breathing involved when you chant the mantra, because the breath and the sound together bring in that meditative, the meditative frame of mind, right? Entrains the mind, if you will. Because you see, when we do, for example, Gayatri Mantra is the name of the chandas in Gayatri Mantra, or the meter in Gayatri Mantra is Gayatri. That is why it is called Gayatri Mantra. In that particular case, the meter, in other words, the rhythm of that. Sa Ishwaraya Vidmahe Satya Devaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarva Prachodayat Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat. You see the similarity? This is called the Gayatri Chandas. That's so there is a Chandas to every mantra. There is a meter to every mantra. Okay? So you announce the name, and when you say the name, and every time when we get into this mantra, you always say Maha Mantra. This is the greatest of Maha Mantra I am chanting, because at that moment that should be the only focus. This is the greatest mantra that I am chanting. Then you switch to another mantra, then you say that also is the greatest mantra that I am chanting, because at that moment your focus is only on that Maha Mantra. So you announce the name of the Maha Mantra that you are going to chant. You announce the name of you respectfully accept and pay tribute to the author or the Rishi of the mantra. And then you remind yourself about the meter or the chandas in which this mantra is going to be chanted. And then comes you become aware of the Devata in the mantra. Every mantra is dedicated to a deity, a Devata. Sa Ishwaraya Vidmahe is dedicated to whom? To Sai. Chandas is Gayatri, in Sai Gayatri. Rishi is Shri Gandikota Subramanya Sastri Garu. The name of the mantra is Maha Mantra Sai Gayatri. So like that you have the name, the Rishi, the Chandas and the Devata. Every mantra, the traditional mantras, the ones that are culled and passed on from generations to generations, has these 4 components, and there are more components coming up, but these are the 4 important components of any traditional mantra. So this is one thing one has to remember, because it's like going and checking the pedigree of the mantra, if you will. Where did this come from? Which school of thought? Who was the Rishi who gave us this mantra? And so all of that has been recorded and passed down. Isn't it fascinating that this has been passed on for thousands of years, word of mouth? Thousands of years. When you talk of Vishwamitra and Gayatri, even Rama and all were chanting it. So Vishwamitra and all, it's fascinating to see how many thousands and thousands of years has these mantras been chanted, and it resounds in the universe. So when you and I, when we chant these mantras, we tap into that energy. Whether it's the word of Narayana or Shiva, we are tapping into that resource which is already created, that powerful virtual energy that is existing in the Akasha. We tap into that and we begin to draw that energy right away. Because these are very potent mantras. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Ha and Ra comes there. Hare Hare, Hara 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 Hara, Mahadeva, Hari Om, Hari Om. So Hari, Hara, Hrim, all of that is part of these powerful mantras. Now, having said this, then the next step in the anatomy is this. Every mantra is in the form of it's a latent form. Basically, a mantra is latent. There is a part of the mantra which is very latent, like a seed, like Shiva, if you will. Like I said yesterday, Shiva is just latent. is a seed form. Nothing happens if you just chant that part of the mantra alone. Right? So there is a bijam, it's called the bijam. The bijam aspect of a mantra, the latent form of the mantra, is embedded in the mantra itself. So every mantra you'll find out which is the bijam in this mantra. Where does it start from? Sometimes it's all straightforward from the beginning to the end. There is bijam and there is the next one. So let's go to the next one. Bijam is the latent form of the mantra. Then comes the energy, the inherent power of the mantra. It's called the Shakti of the mantra. So in that part of the mantra, there is a Shakti element, there is the bijam element. So there is a seed, and inside the seed lies what? The Shakti. But it is in a potent form. It is latent, inherent power. Inherent in the seed lies this. So obviously the question will come now, how does the seed germinate? How does the seed open to release the Shakti? Right? That is what the practice is. And therefore, the third aspect is called the Kilakam. Simply said, very simply put it, there are so many technical interpretations of these. You're welcome to do all those research and enhance this knowledge if you're interested. But this is the basis. Okay? Bijam, Bij mantra we say, right? Bija mantra, Bijam, seed. Shakti inside that Bija mantra. And Kilakam. Kilakam is simply understood as the lock which gets opened. That is the part of the mantra which provides, it's like a key. It goes and opens and releases this energy. So the seed literally germinates. In other words, the seed opens and the power comes out. Power begins to manifest. So the mantra is always chanted in its entirety. That is why Baba would say the Gayatri, you chant it 3 times, that is enough. Because in those 3 times, you are tapping into all these 3 in every Gayatri mantra. And it doesn't mean you have to sit and analyze this intellectually. It is just for us to know that there was a science behind writing these mantras. And the sound energy patterns. The sound, why is it so important? Because everything begins from vibrations. Everything in this creation, the source of all is a vibration, a frequency, a sound. Even in the Bible, if you see across religions, they say the first there was a word and the word was God. From the word, we talk of Om, and from the Om comes everything. Everything is Akshara, the sound. From the sound manifests everything. So if we understand the science of the sound, which is the sound which can hold combinations of sound, where some sounds can be Shakti in some other mantra, but in this particular mantra it will be the Bijam, the seed, because of combinations. It is very fascinating as to how these rishis understood this science, and I believe in my heart that this was not some conscious intellectual analysis that they did, but it came from that expansion of consciousness. They tuned into the powers of the universe, the energies of the universe. They went into the building blocks of creation, which was sound and vibrations and frequencies. And from there they derived these. And they brought it in a manner that you and I can begin from an external, very superficial way of chanting it with your mouth and tongue. When we correct that, it begins to create neural paths in the brain. It begins to create the neural pathways that dig into the conscious, subconscious mind and goes into the unconscious and connects you back to that source of the universe. So that is why focused chanting with deep, mindful, not out of fear or not out of emotion or prayer, none of that. It is just focused chanting with complete faith and determination. That really brings out the essence, the bijam, the seed begins to release the Shakti because the kilakam of the mantra begins to get activated and release the Shakti in that mantra. Why am I introducing it before Khadgamala? Because everything about Lalita, the Devi here, everything about her, her entire secret is understood through understanding the mantras, through practice of mantras alone. Because you cannot describe her. Okay, poetically, yes, of course we describe her, there are poetries, there are slokas and stotras and all of that. But there is no way our mind can comprehend the entire aspect of creation across all dimensions, across all directions, across all states of awakened, deep sleep and unconscious, superconscious state, and all of that at once. It's impossible for the mind. That is why you have to lose the mind. You get lost into Devi. There's no coming back when that final emancipation happens, where you get released completely from all bondages of the mind, if you will, in the Sahasrara. So everything about Devi is mantra based. And if you understand this power and the energy in each of these mantras, you will reverentially, respectfully, automatically, with great humility chant these mantras. And you will notice that as you practice, these mantras, these sound vibrations begin to actually change not only you internally, bringing in healthier vibrations, positive outlooks and all of that, but it also begins to change the reality around you. Beautifully puts things perfectly, aligning things for you. It's beyond miracles, I would say. It's a law. It's a principle, cosmic law that you're tapping into when you begin to understand the mantras. Which is why there was this idea of initiation, so that the student will understand the power behind it, not just take it for granted. Which is why also there is a caution which people say, don't do it on the internet and just throw it out there for everybody to, even Jesus said, don't cast pearls to the swines or something like that. I'm paraphrasing that. The point here is, because these are so powerful, don't just take it very lightly. It doesn't mean you should be afraid of it. It is about reverence. Once you chant it reverentially, understanding the energy, then you begin to understand. It's like if you have $1 million check in your hand and you don't know the value, what will a 2-year-old do? She's going to play or make a rocket out of it and send it out of the window. It will go land in the neighbor's house and somebody else is going to cash it. Because you don't know the value of it, nothing bad is going to happen, but nothing good will happen at the same time. You will lose the treasure that is there inside the mantra. That is why you learn about the mantra, you study it, and then reverentially approach this with practice. Then the cosmic being will lift you up. Beyond this, the idea of initiation is nothing more, nothing less. The Guru teaches you what is this mantra, or he or she understands your capability and judges you and says, okay, I think you are ready to understand this. But today we have this gift of technology. I'm not against technology, I never will be. Because that is an expression of human consciousness and yearning. It is a yearning of the human consciousness to unite with each other. That is what is bringing this. We are talking about information explosion, bad things in the internet and all of that. Leave aside that. What is driving this communication? What is driving this, right? So we are creating a virtual space where we can all meet. So if we can hold the sanctity of this virtual space, then I think we are creating that very same atmosphere, virtual though it may be, the very same atmosphere that existed in the ashrams thousands of years ago. All right. So you have Bijam, Shakti and Kilakam. Right? And the last one is, before you begin, you state the purpose in clear, uncertain terms. What is the objective of chanting this mantra? Now, it might seem suddenly so selfish, right? Wait a minute, I'm just going to chant it for the joy of it. I don't want all this fruit. That is all, it's simply said. But you can state, if liberation is the objective, state it there. If the pratyaksha rupa, if you want the pratyaksha, when I say pratyaksha, it is the first-hand experience. Pratyaksha, aparoksha, paroksha anubhuti and aparoksha anubhuti. If you want a first-hand experience of this Devi principle, then state that. Make it very clear. This is what I'm chanting this for. I want this Devi to be pratyaksha for me. But there are others also. You can also say, I want this for health, I want this for this and that. So you state the purpose. You state the purpose of why you're chanting this particular mantra. Because these energies can give you anything you want, especially these powerful mantras, the traditional mantras. It's like I said, it's like a blank check. It's a check. What will you do with a check? You can go and buy a home, or you can invest in stock market, or you can just donate it. You can do whatever you want with it, or you can tear it and put it away, or you can just hold on to the check. right? You can do anything you want with it. That is this is naked, powerful energy, cosmic energy being presented to us in a platter. So you can imagine moving away from this kind of education that was given to all of us hundreds and thousands of years ago in Gurukulams. Every child was sent to a Gurukulam, every child learned it. Whether it was a child of a king, a prince, if you will, a young prince or a young poor Brahmin, all of these kids, son of a carpenter or a farmer, they all sat in the Gurukulam and learned these powerful mantras. And then history took its own way, and slowly it became diluted and it became closed as India became more and more. The last 1500 years, close to 2000 years, it has been constantly being invaded. And so what do when there's danger? You take the most precious things, and what do? You put them in safety. So all of this went into hiding. It all went into. So imagine in the last 2000 years, this why we have done like this. It's because people who knew this, the rishis who knew it, the society, the part of the society that knew it, the learned scholars, held it now close because they didn't want this kind of sacredness, this kind of power that gave the energy to every individual in the country. India was so rich at one point, and that abundance was soaking in abundance, right? And so that kind of energy that was in India, everything became secret. And then it was given to only a few. Now that moment is gone. Now we are entering, I think, and I believe, and I'm sure most of you will also agree with me, we are entering into what is called a global culture, where we begin to share each other's knowledge, learn from each other's, not just food habits and lifestyle habits and what to wear and what to eat and what music to listen to, but more than that, the belief systems get shared. Everybody, slowly, that's happening slowly. It'll perhaps take another 40, 50 years for that to happen. But all of that this is where, going back to the Indian culture, this is where the mantras come from. It comes from a very traditional, very powerful mindset. So these are cosmic energies given to us by the rishis, which now the universe is orchestrating, at least for you and me, in this little virtual space. It is giving us a chance to explore these powerful mantras. Let's see what is the next one. All right. So before we go in this, I'm just going to take an example of the Devi Khadgamala itself and go through that. And these names will be very long because we are getting into Devi Khadgamala. And so it might seem a little too complicated. Don't get discouraged. But I will say these names and all that. So before we go to that, the first thing was what? The name of the mantra. Then comes the rishi, the author of the mantra. Then comes the meter, the rhythm, how the rhythm is chanted. Then comes the devata, which is the deity of this mantra. So you become mindful. It's creating a mindfulness, right? Oh, this is the rishi, this is the deity, this is the meter. So I have to be prepared to chant it this way because I've already practiced it. So you're getting yourself very mindful before you practice it. Then you become aware of where is the bijam in this mantra, where is the seed in this mantra, where is the shakti latent in this mantra, where is the kilakam, the energy that will unlock this energy, right? The kilakam part of the mantra. You become aware of that. Then with all that awareness, you say, this is why I'm chanting this mantra. This is the purpose of this mantra being chanted. This is where in our traditions of Sanatana Dharma, the rishis, the sages, they would actually draw upon the energies of the cosmos to fulfill every single desire. This is there in the Devi Mahatmyam also. In the story of Devi Mahatmyam, there is a businessman and there is a saint. Both of them temporarily give up what they are doing. That is important for us to understand. Okay? So they give up what they are doing, they come and sit with a guru who teaches them Devi Mahatmyam. Then what they do with that knowledge, they go back, the businessman goes back to being a businessman, the saint goes back to being the saint because he is after self-realization. So all of this is possible, the energy of Devi Mahatmyam, the powers of the mantra that was inherent in that, all of that was given to them. They learned it, they practiced it, they understood it, and then they said, I'm going to take this and apply it in my life. So this power it's available. Even to this day, it's available. That's a fascinating part of it. So don't let doubt and doubt ruin this beautiful thing. Start with faith and practice and see with knowledge, with wisdom, with faith, and more so, I would emphasize with reverence and humility. With an open mind, with a deep prayer saying, if there is something in it, reveal it to me, and watch it happening. Watch it happen. All right. So let us apply what we learned in the form of an example. So name of the mantra, how is it to be chanted, and what is it? So for example, in the Devi Khadgamala, there are many Khadgamala, we say. Mala means a rosary. It's a garland, right? So a garland of, like I said yesterday, so many mantras are in that garland. And all of that put together is one big mantra itself. So how do we say this? Asya, thus. Asya Shri Shuddha Shakti Mala, Shuddha Shakti Mala. That is the name of one of these chants. There are many types of Devi Khadgamalas, many types of the same things, and we'll study that as we go along. So let's be patient there. But let's take the first one, Shuddha Shakti Mala. Shuddha, the pure Shakti Mala. Okay, I'm not going to explain the details at this point. We'll come back and revisit it. But understand how it goes like this. Asya, thus, Shri Shuddha Shakti Mala Mahamantrasya. How do we do this? We chant it with our palms folded in front of our chest. Very mindfully, we say, this is the mantra that is going to be chanted. The name of the mantra. What is the name of the mantra here? Shuddha Shakti Mala. That is the name of the mantra here. Mahamantrasya. Any mantra that you chant, you will always say it's Mahamantra. Why? Because at that moment, that is the mantra. Nothing else exists. That is your biggest mantra there. If it is Om Sai Ram, that is the mantra. If it is Om Namah Shivaya, that is the Maha Mantra. If it's Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, that is the Maha Mantra at that moment. Correct? So at this moment, Asya Shri Shuddha Shakti Mala Maha Mantrasya, I announce. Then, what is the next one? Rishi. Who's the author of this mantra? So here again, it might seem complicated. Don't get discouraged. So here I'll explain all this later. So now here I'm announcing the name of the rishis or the rishi who composed this. Upastendryadhishtai Varunaditya Rishihi. How do I say this? So the mantra I announce like this. Then I take my right hand. There are two ways to do this. This is called the Diya Mudra. This is a Guru Mudra. So you can do it like this with both your hands, or you can do with just one hand as well. So this is, you place the Guru on top of your head. Because there is nothing, it is to signify to you, there's nothing higher at this point than this Guru has given me. So I keep him on top of my head, right? Because the ego is here. On top of that, you place the Guru. So there he is. So you place the Guru on top. So rather than keeping it like this, it's a very beautiful mudra. A deer is known for its gentleness, for its tenderness. So as a deer, I approached this tenderly. I approach the Guru. So I place, so Upastendryadhishtai Varunaditya Rishihi. You can do this, you can do this. The other way is people do even like this. Just one finger, the ring finger and the thumb. And they place it like this. So this is also done. So there again, like I said, these are all minor changes from between different schools, but the idea is very reverentially. A mudra makes you mindful. Otherwise, you will just say, touch your head and perhaps start scratching when you are chanting it. I'm just kidding. But when you do a mudra, it becomes, oh, I'm placing this rishi right on top of my head, reverentially. Okay? It's all taking mindfulness, reverence, humility before you even begin the mantra. There are so many more layers, all those components before we even chant the mantra. You would have seen this in the Navaratri Puja. I'm going to take that step by step and explain so you'll know what it is. So the rishi is now reverentially placed on top of the head. So you bow to the rishi. Then comes the chandas, the meter of the mantra, right? What is the meter in Devi Khadgamala? In this particular mala, Khadgamala, because I told you there are 15 types I told you there are many types, but I will tell you how many. There are 15, sometimes even 16 as to particular some schools. 15 types or 16 types of Khadgamala for each day of the lunar cycle. Okay, we'll come to that. So each one is composed in a different, slightly different meter. Here it is in this particular mala, the first mala that we learn is Devi Gayatri Chandaha. So what do you do with the hands now? So we say Rishi. First we did mantra's name is done. Rishi is done like this. Then Chandaha, you do this. You touch the nose. Why the nose? Because you tell yourself, I have to be aware of the way I'm going to breathe during these mantras. Breath is what helps create sound, right? Channelize the sound energy. So if you notice a singer singing, he has to make sure that he's got enough breath to hold the alap and so on and so forth. So breath is very important. So you become very conscious of that. You touch the nostrils like this. Very reverentially you say, Devi Gayatri Chandaha, because the rhythm depends on where are the gaps going to come in the mantra, how am I going to say it. So Devi Gayatri Chandaha. You acknowledge the meter of the mantra. Right? In this particular, these are all examples of this particular mantra. Like this you have for every mantra. Okay, then we go to the next one. What is the next one? The Devata. Who is the deity of the mantra? In this particular Devi Khadgamala, again, the name is so divine and so long. So again, don't get discouraged. Because in Sai Gayatri, Sai is the deity. Simple, one word. Sai. Satya Sai is the deity. Sai Ishvara is the deity. So it's very simple. Here, the idea is there's a lot of meaning inside each of these words. Because when you talk about a deity, it is which kind of deity? What is the energy of the deity? What is the function of the deity? How am I going to approach this deity for this particular mantra? All of that is involved there. So it appears very complicated. So in this particular Shuddha Shakti Mala, you say Satvika, Kakara, Bhattaraka, Pitastita, Kameshwaranga Nilayaye, Mahakameshwari, Shri Lalita, Maha Bhattarakaye, Devataye Namaha. Again, you go back to salutations. So you begin the name of the mantra and salutations. You go to the Rishi, you do the Chandas, the meter, and then you once again, very reverentially, understand what is this deity that I am calling. So this is, like I said, this is an example. We'll come to these meanings and take it more in detail as we progress. So the name and the deity of the mantra. So let us understand the different energies in this mantra now. Okay. In this particular, we talked about the seed, the power of the mantra, and the lock that will release it. Now, in the Devi concept of this divine cosmic principle, you think of creation across dimensions and this and that, and we say it cannot be understood by the mind, then it's very easy to say, then what's the point, right? If I can't understand it, I'll just let go. I'm not going to be struggling with something I can never, right in the beginning you say it's not going to be achieved. So what do you do here? There is, in this Khadgamala, there is this cosmic deity, the cosmic Lalita, the supreme goddess. He is meditated upon as a small child. In other words, you take it, you can understand this macrocosm across all dimensions, and all that seems so vast, all of that exists inside our body. That is the beauty. The secret of the ocean, I think it was Khalil Gibran, he said the secret of the ocean is understood by meditating upon the dewdrop. So when you understand the microcosm, the macrocosm is understood. In this case, the microcosm is us. So the entire aspect of this divine Devi, you meditate upon her as a small child. That is the symbolism behind first being initiated in the younger. There's schools of thought, right? They initiate you into the young Lalita first. And in fact, the priest who initiated me he's one of the chief priests of a very big temple in South India. And he specifically told me not to mention anything of that, because he doesn't do that on any large scale or anything like that. He told me, if you chant this Balai, they call it in Tamil, they say Balai mantra. If you chant this Devi's Bala mantra, in other words, understanding Devi in the Bala, in the young form, in the little child, that is enough, he said. You don't need anything else. For supreme, if you are looking for self-realization, knowledge, everything is got in that Bala itself. So what I took from that is, if you understand the microcosmic energy of Lalita, the small version of Lalita, more gentle, more divine, more sweet, more understandable, more reachable, more talkable, if you will, then her mother is also revealed, right? Now, it's not mother-daughter type. It is just understanding that this vast energy, which is so incomprehensible, how do you tune into this energy? You tune into that energy as a small child. Now, for me, and as students of yoga, you will perhaps appreciate it. For me, definitely this has helped, because when we talk of the Kundalini, why I keep saying Kundalini is not dangerous, Kundalini is very divine, very beautiful experience. Why I keep saying is because I always meditated, and I continue to meditate upon this energy as a small child. 6 years, 7 years, 5 years, whatever that child. That is it. Bright, enthusiastic, intelligent, full of questions, tender, sweet, innocent, pure. That is the child. That's all. You tune into that energy. And how can you be afraid of that energy, right? Then you imagine this cosmic energy of the goddess that we adore as mother, because everything emanated from her. That is coming to me in this form. And so the Kundalini awakening, for those of us who are in the Kundalini yoga and understanding the mystical part of this whole practice, the awakening is very gentle, very beautiful, very sublime. There the Devi comes to us in very, very beautiful, gentle manner. And if there's any fear, it is only in our heads. And our ignorance causes fear. But there is nothing from the Devi aspect, if you understand this. So once again, you go back to why it was important to get initiated, because of this. If you don't understand this, and you start taking up another mantra which talks about the cosmic, you might be chanting it for 50 years, not understanding what am I even doing. I can't even get my mind around it. This way, you're invoking her, and the cosmic energy truly, because all of this gets translated into a mystical experience, into actual experience. You get the pratyaksha, you get the aparoksha anubhuti. That changes your life completely. So, this 3 alphabets or letters, if you will, Aim, Kleem, Sauhu, is that microscopic representation of the little Lalita, the Bala Tripura Sundari. Bala means child. The child Tripura Sundari. Tripura Sundari is the most gorgeous, beautiful queen of all the 3 worlds, right? She is that Mahat Tattva. This is Bala Tripura Sundari. Aim, Kleem, Sauhu. That is a mantra by itself, right? In this Khadgamala, this is the Bijam, this is the Shakti, this is the Kilakam. Now there are other versions of this as well, but the way I practice it is this, and this has been complete for me. I don't even have any desire to look for anything more, because of the beauty of the experience and the richness of the experience that comes from this. Aim Bijam. The Aim in this mantra, the word and the sound of Aim is the Bijam. Aim represents knowledge, wisdom. It is the Bijakshara, the Bijam of Saraswati, Goddess Saraswati, who's sitting there. She represents wisdom on the other end there. She represents wisdom. How do you call on to her? How do you tune into that energy? Just a simple letter. Aim. That is Aim. Saraswati. So there is a school, there are very specialized schools of thought. I'm just throwing it not to confuse you, but I'm letting you know that there are other schools of thought which will say Aim is for Indrani, Aindri, and we'll discuss those aspects of Devi as well before we even get to the Khadgamala, because without understanding them, Khadgamala will make no sense. So, Aim is the supreme energy, the wisdom. What is this wisdom now? How is this wisdom? Is it available to you and me right away? No, right? Enlightenment is not available. It's in the seed form. Aim is in the seed form. So now, then you have the Shakti that will release that. Shakti inside is this Kleem. Kleem is Shakti. Kleem is called the Kama Bija. Kleem is when you understand the energy of the Kleem, and the word Kleem itself is also a mantra by itself. So the word Kleem gives you the energy to manifest any desire that crosses your mind. It will manifest. That is the power of that. This is why I said that the ancient Indians used this to bring abundance into their lives and everything. They were never greedy, because they said, we can go to the cosmic energy and get it. And the cosmic energy is unlimited. So we can draw upon it anytime we want. Kleem is a Shakti in this mantra. Kleem is the ability to manifest. It brings about manifestation. It has the energy to manifest. So Kleem becomes Durga energy, Shakti energy, right? From here, because she's about action. All right, you have a desire. Let's manifest it for you. That manifestation. Sorry, Kleem is because this changes as per in the context as well. Kleem is Kama Bija, desire, or Lakshmi. Lakshmi provides that. She brings the power for you to manifest. Lakshmi brings abundance into you. So, Shri, Kleem. Okay? Because there is Aim, Hreem, Shreem as well. This is the Bala version. This is a short version. So, bear with me. I apologize for that. So, Kleem is the Kama Bijam. She is the one who helps you fulfill all your desires. So, she is the Shakti there. And the one that acts upon it, releases the Shakti, is Sauhu. Sauhu is Durga energy, the Devi energy, the Lalita energy. So, you have Saraswati, Lakshmi, and Durga, all three in this. Aim is the Saraswati energy, Kleem is the Lakshmi energy, and Sauhu is the Kilakam, the one that releases the lock. Now, you don't have to believe in Lakshmi, Saraswati sitting somewhere looking down upon you. You don't have to. The sound is, where are the deities? In the sound. The deities are in the sound. And all of them are lying latent in you. And so when you practice these mantras, they become pratyaksham for you. That is the beauty of this. They're not somewhere outside waiting for you to please them. They are inside you, lying in a potent form. So, Aim Bijam, Kleem Shakti, that is released, Sauhu Kilakam, that which actually releases this Shakti from within. And that Kleem begins to manifest. Alright, so this is the beauty of these mantras. Is there one more slide? Okay, let's go through that real quick. And the purpose of the mantra is also stated, right? Like I said, towards the end, before you chant the mantra, you say this is the purpose. In this case, for me, the purpose is I want the Bala Tripura Sundari, which is this child version of this divine goddess, to come and she becomes the armor for me. Khadgarup. So, Mama, me, for me, Shri Bala Tripura Sundari. I'm calling upon this divine goddess in the form of a Bala, in the form of a small child. Bala Tripura Sundari. Khadgarupena. In what form can she come? Come to me in the form of an armor. That is the closest. The armor is tightly clinging to the body. So come. Become one part of me. Khadgarupena. The armor is not just protection against evil and all of that. That is one small superfluous understanding. Imagine the armor becomes part of you. And she is there protecting you and she is part of you. So protection becomes incidental. The fact that she is part of you becomes even more joyful, right? You begin to enjoy this constant company. So, Bala Tripura Sundari, Khadga Rupena Sakshatkara. I want the Sakshatkara. You come to me as Am. You come and you become the Sakshat. This Prasada Rupena. Prasada Siddhyarte. So, give this to me as Prasada. This is my objective of chanting this. I want you to manifest as the armor for me. So, you are closest to me. I tune into this purpose. So, now I chant this purpose with all my heart. Right? So there's nothing selfishness, there's no desire kind of concept. It is the most, I love this desire. I have no qualms about this kind of desire. Mama Shri Bala Tripura Sundari Khadgurupena Sakshatkara Prasada Siddhyarte Jape Vinyoga. Jape Vinyoga. I'm doing this japa with this objective. I set it forth. And then I do the japa. So this is the anatomy of a mantra. Let us sing a bhajan dedicated to Devi. It's a bhajan many of you might know if you are in the Sai Baba family. It's called Jago Jago Ma. It's one of my favorite bhajans. It's like awaken, mother, awaken, awaken. Can you give me that note? I just made some settings. Sorry about that. I put some settings and I'll just make sure I got it right. Because the scale and the beat changes. Thank you. I have tuned my keyboards to 432 Hertz. That again we will study as we go along. 432 Hertz is the perfect tuning. In my opinion, it's very, very beneficial for the neurons to form properly. And I was not able to do it all these days, but with divine grace, I learned how to do that. And so, if you listen to this with normal scale in your harmonium, it might be slightly lower, but that is 440 Hertz, and this is 432 Hertz. 432 Hertz is very good for meditation and for spiritual progress. Om Shri Matre Namaha. 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 Jago jago ma, jago jago ma, jago jago ma janani. Jago jago ma, jago jago ma, jago jago ma janani. Jai Durga Devi Rana Chandi Devi He Shiva Ramana Jago ma. He Durga Devi Rana Chandi Devi He Shiva Ramana Jago ma. He Shiva Ramana Jago ma. He Shiva Ramana Jago ma. Jagadodharini ma, Sai Jagadodharini ma. Jago jago ma, जागो जागो माँ, जागो जागो माँ जननी, जागो जागो माँ, जागो जागो माँ, जागो जागो माँ जननी। जय दुर्गा देवी रणचंडी देवी, हे शिव रमणा जागो माँ। जय दुर्गा देवी रणचंडी देवी, हे शिव रमणा जागो माँ, हे शिव रमणा जागो माँ, हे शिव रमणा जागो माँ। जागो जगदोदारिणी माँ, जागो जगदोदारिणी माँ। ओम श्री मात्रे नमः, ओम श्री मात्रे नमः, ओम श्री मात्रे नमः। समस्तलोका सुखिनो भवन्तु, समस्तलोका सुखिनो भवन्तु, समस्तलोका सुखिनो भवन्तु. May all the beings in all the worlds be happy. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.